Coming up next on Access Framingham TV, the Amazon River, with my guest, Dr. Nadia Rodberg, on Travels with Jack. Stay tuned. Welcome to Travels with Jack. I'm your host, Jack Barron. Thanks for joining me. I'd like to invite you to be a guest on our show. Share with us your favorite trip, a vacation, a cruise, maybe a day trip right here in New England. You can talk about the transportation, the hotels, the shopping, the good food you enjoyed, the people that you met, anything you'd like to share with your friends and our viewing audience. Just contact us here at Access Framingham Television and let us know you'd like to be a guest. You can phone AFTV at 508-875-5434, or you can send an email message to info@accessfram.tv. Our associate producer will be in touch with you to make arrangements for you to be on the program here on Access Framingham TV. Today, Dr. Nadia Rodberg returns for her second visit to Travels with Jack. Nadia and her husband traveled the Amazon River in March of 2011. Nadia is an avid photographer, and she's brought some beautiful pictures to share with us. Welcome, Nadia.
Thank you, Jack.
And let me just add, Nadia is a Framingham resident. She is a medical internist, doctor, physician at Southborough Medical in Southborough. Her husband, Roman, is an engineer, and they are both world travelers. Nadia came to the United States in 1979 from Kiev. For history buffs, Brezhnev was the head of the government at the time.
Sure.
And her family are living the American dream. She has 2 sons, 3 grandsons, and 1 granddaughter.
All correct.
Oh, great to see you.
Good to see you, Jack.
Thank you. Tell me a little bit about what we're going to see today.
Well, thank you for inviting me back. It was wonderful to do a show about Africa. And last year, for the first time, I heard from my husband. Usually I initiate any kind of travel. I see what's on.
You mean you know what we're going to do?
Right. But last year, for the first time, I said, so what would you like to do for your 70th birthday? Not meaning travel, meaning what restaurant to take you for dinner. And he said, well, I'd really like to travel Amazon. And I was shocked, upset, not excited at all. I said, Amazon, just a river. I mean, go see the Charles. What's the problem? But he probably read lots of novel about rainforest and hunters in his childhood, and turned out that he wanted to see Amazon. So even though without more excitement or anything, we booked Amazon and we did Amazon trip. So today I would love to show you some beautiful pictures of Amazon and tell you a little bit about Amazon.
Let me ask you my usual quiz questions. You started in Boston.
Right.
Tell me the flight schedule.
Well, we started in Boston and we flew to Miami.
Okay.
Changed the planes in Miami. We flew to São Paulo, Brazil.
Okay.
That's
about what, 8 hours from Miami?
No, it's about 13 hours.
13 hours, okay.
And then we changed plane in São Paulo. We're worried about our luggage and everything else. And flew to Manaus, which is one of the northwestern cities in Brazil and capital of Amazonia, which is the region that will be on one of the pictures that we will see.
Okay. And you get there.
We got there and we board the ship.
Oh, okay. So
In Manaus.
right away, you didn't have to stay in a hotel in
No,
Okay.
no. We went straight to beautiful, beautiful ship
Okay.
called Odyssey, very appropriately.
All right.
And it was with Seabourn Cruises.
Oh, this is Seabourn runs the
Right.
Amazon River.
Right.
Oh, so this was, for those of our guests, Seabourn is a very, I consider it a high-end cruise line.
It is. It's
A little
very
bit smaller ships, more personalized service.
right. And for us, it was mostly small ships. First of all, large, huge ships can go Amazon.
Can't do the river.
Can do, although probably any ship can do Amazon. It's spectacular river. So we board Seabourn Odyssey, and as we can see on some pictures, we look right away from our room, and it was already amazing because if you see that it's a corner of Rio Negro and Amazon, and when then those two rivers come together, you can see in the water when they come together.
Oh, really?
Because Amazon have spectacular color. It's like milk. It's milky yellow color.
Okay.
It comes from the Andes when the Amazon River started. And altogether, Amazon is one of the longest river in the world.
Oh.
It's second only to Nile.
Well, let me get you ready. I think Bill's going to put some photos on for us. So let's take a look at some of your pictures. And there's the map. So
there's the map. So you can see where's Manaus. Manaus right in the middle of the map.
Oh, okay.
So
So you're not all that far from Colombia.
Right. Well, it started in Ecuador and Peru and comes from the Andes, where it carries this milky sediment with it. And if you see Rio Negro, come right where Manaus is.
Yeah.
And when at Rio Negro, it's because waters are black. So
Okay.
you can see.
Oh, that must be what it means. Rio Negro.
Rio Negro, it's a black river.
See that? I should have passed Spanish with an A.
Right. And maybe now it's a time to tell you why Amazon called Amazon.
Go ahead.
Actually, first explorer of the Brazil. There were tales about women which were horseback riding, beautiful women with long black hair. And as you know, the old tale about Amazons were in Europe, and they called Amazons because they were warriors, and they were shooting from the bow.
Yeah.
So those women, to be better warriors, needed to cut their right breast off.
Okay.
And that's what it means. A meaning without, Mazon means breast.
Oh.
So Amazon without breast. So first explorer of Amazon saw that they saw the same women, and they called river Amazon.
Okay.
So it has beautiful connotation to women warriors or warrior. So it's very important that this is a river
Of women warriors.
Of women warriors. So it's a beautiful river, and as you see, when we come from St. Paula, you can see how wide this river actually is. It's incredible width. In a dry season, Amazon could be up to 6 miles wide, but in a wet season, it could run up to 30 miles wide.
30 miles wide?
30 miles
Really?
wide. It's an
Okay.
incredible river, and most of the people in South America called it River Sea, because it's like a sea. And actually, when you come to the sea with Amazon, when you come to Atlantic, for miles, you can see Amazon running into Atlantic as a river.
Really?
It doesn't mix right away with Atlantic Ocean.
This is Roman.
So Roman is looking in Rio Negro and a flotilla of Amazon ships, because when you on Amazon, you travel only by the ship. There's no any other transportation between Amazon and the next city down the river but by the ship. Amazon River doesn't have any bridges.
Oh, okay.
There is no airports except for Manaus, where
Yep.
we started. So for miles and thousands miles, there is nothing. You can travel only by the ship.
So, in other words, all these communities, the people, if they want to visit a cousin down the river 20 miles,
They travel
take
by
a
the
boat.
ship. They take a boat, and boat goes like from Manaus to next big city.
Yep.
Takes 6 days.
Oh,
And as this is Manaus. This is the beautiful old building in Manaus. Manaus was the capital of robber barons in
Oh, really?
Brazil. Lots of rich people used to live in Manaus.
what drew them there? Was there minerals, gold?
No, robber barons.
Oh.
They produce rubber.
Oh, rubber. I thought you said robber.
No, rubber.
Oh, okay.
Rubber
This
barons.
was a rubber industry.
Sorry for my accent.
No.
But
Well,
that's-
because we have a term in America.
Right,
In
rubber.
the late 1800s, we called some of the wealthy people, the Vanderbilts and
Right.
people like that, robber barons.
Well, no, those was
Okay.
were rubber. And
Oh,
you can
this had
see
a rubber industry.
And you can see how people in Manaus lives those houses on stilts
Yep.
because river is so close, and there's lots of poverty together with some very rich things. But now government of Brazil, there is doing very well financially, building subsidized housing, and the next picture will be all the subsidized
Oh, I see it.
housing. You see that
Yep.
from houses on a still to this, because they produce gasoline, they're doing very well in the market, they're doing very well in Brazil nowadays, and that's what they built. And you see from here, they go to subsidized housing. But the
So
most
that's the old Brazil,
Right.
and the modern is the new Brazil.
Well, yes. This
Oh,
is
beautiful.
the most beautiful
It looks
building.
beautiful.
It's an opera house.
Really?
And an
In the
opera
middle of the
in
jungle?
Manaus.
Really?
This is beautiful opera house, and it was practically transported from Paris, from France.
Huh.
As we go inside, you see beautiful medallions on the ceiling.
Oh.
Look at the beautiful opera house. It's so old. When we went there, they made us to put special shoes. We couldn't go. The floors were such a beautiful mosaic parquet that you had to put a special shoes. They wouldn't let you in
Now,
unless
how
you're
often do
wearing.
they have an opera there?
They have opera.
A lot.
It's a functioning
Oh, the
opera
architecture
house.
looks handsome. This is.
It's a beautiful, beautiful house, and actually, those robber barons transported and built this. They transported lots of painting for this opera house.
Were you
from
very
Europe.
surprised by this? Or
Yes.
You were. Okay.
Yes, we saw it Amazon, but there was this beautiful opera, and it's still functioning opera. And then on a trip on Manaus, one of the most important part of Manaus is a fish market.
Okay.
Don't ask me to name those fish.
No, I won't.
But there's incredible. Amazon has thousands of different species of fish, and you can see. And of course, we're coming from America. For the first thing we said, where's piranhas? But there were piranhas in this market, and there's beautiful, beautiful fishes. It's incredible market. It's huge.
So you're saying now? I thought the Amazon. So it's a fairly clean river.
It's a very clean.
It's a very clean river. Okay.
The fish is one of the main gold thing in Amazon. There's not too many things grow in an Amazon basin because of the land is not that fertile. They they grow very few agricultural things.
Really?
But the fish industry is prevailing, of course. So this is Manaus fish market with all kind of different fish. We were shocked just to see those different.
Yeah.
This is actually probably piranha. It's a small fish.
Oh, it is.
It is
Huh.
a small fish.
And they eat them.
Of course, I
You
show
say
you. We
of
have
course,
lunch.
I know they eat us.
No. Piranha is interesting fish. it will not touch you unless you're bleeding. If
Okay.
your finger is sliced, it will eat you alive.
Okay.
But if you don't have anything, any blood around you, you can stay in Amazon. And we were in villages when people were building boats in the river and fishing for piranha next to it. It was fine. Those are...
More
Look at
fish. Oh,
this
look at that.
fish.
That looks almost like an alligator head or something.
No,
No?
this is fish.
Fish. Okay.
This is fish.
Oh, boy.
This is all fish.
Oh, isn't that beautiful? Look at that fish.
It's just incredible. The
Yeah.
variety of fish was incredible.
Now, did they say most of these fish they send off to San Paulo or Rio?
No.
No.
No, you can't. There's only plane between Manaus and San Paulo.
So this is all eaten
It's all
locally.
for local consumption. That's what they eat. That's what the most of the fishes
Oh.
goes. And then we went back on the ship.
This is a pretty good sized ship.
This is well, it's for 175 people. But I
Beautiful.
wanted to show you next picture. The next picture, you see what's this inside of this ship?
It looks like
This is-
nets, but I'm not
This
sure.
is hammocks.
Hammocks, okay.
This is hammocks. That's how they travel for 6 days on an Amazon River. Everybody sleeps in a hammock.
Wait, on
And-
your ship too?
No.
Not your ship. Your ship had
No.
fancy beds. Okay.
This ship, this is all Brazilian ship.
Okay.
And that's how people travel. And we were told that when people come to the ship to travel, they bring their food. They're so happy. On the second day, everybody knows everybody. On the third day, they have party. On the fourth day, they started to separate. On the fifth day, they're looking for knife to kill each other. Because it's impossible to survive on a ship. Do you see the color of the Amazon here?
Yes.
You can see this yellow milky color of the Amazon. And of course, this is Amazon. It's a beautiful river.
Yeah.
And it's brought us...
I had no idea that it had that kind of fishing and all that.
It's incredible fishing, and very few...
Oh, this
They
is
took
what?
us to something called Boy Bamba show. Let me see how it. Yeah, it's called Boy Bamba show.
Okay.
And it's on the Amazon River. It's in the middle of a little village, and they built those incredible statues of, impersonating everything around you. And you'll see all these statues. They're incredible they're incredible size, and they're incredibly colorful. And they accompany all this with beautiful Brazilian music, gorgeous women
Yes,
serving drinks. You see?
the Brazilian people are very
You
good looking.
see? Gorgeous women, half naked, serving your drinks.
But I see she has two breasts.
No. This woman about probably 6 feet tall.
Really?
Yeah, this is just the build.
A statue, but I was thinking she'd be
right.
one-breasted.
No.
Like you told me the
Look,
name of the
you see,
river.
look at the people. How big are people and
Yep,
how big
I
are
see
statues?
these are huge. The
Those
statues.
are moving on wheels and moving during the show, representing some kind of tales and old mythology. It's very interesting. They're incredibly colorful.
Yeah, I was going to say
incredibly
the colors are great.
complicated, very interesting to see. Just to see, we never saw any kind
Now,
of...
did the cruise ship company bring you to this event? Okay.
Yes.
So you didn't have to do any research?
No. Seabourn had special arrangement along the river, and you'll see later they support some villages with some grants for kids to go to school, for some kids to get education, and they pay for tourists to go and to see Boy Bamba show, or we'll see next.
So the cruise line has really brought an economy to the region. Isn't that interesting?
It's
That's nice to hear.
It's very nice. And also when people are going to things like this, they're donating money for local culture, for local education. So it's very important, I think.
That is. Oh, look
so
at the
you'll
show.
see it show continue. It's beautiful, very unbelievable music. The music is so... this is the real woman now, you see.
Yeah.
they're dancing, and you see how the man inside moving this whole
Oh yes,
thing
I
on
see him in
itself.
the.
Yes.
For our viewers, right in the middle of this statue, you see a man,
Right,
or at
and
least
he's
his arm
moving
and
the
his. Yep.
whole. Yes, he's moving the
Oh,
whole
so this
thing.
thing is huge. So he's got to be close to 6 feet. This
Right.
must be 14, 15
All
feet
the
tall.
statues are incredible in size. It's open air. It's stadium-like setting. Music is blazing. Those statues are moving.
You
They're
know,
dancing.
perhaps we'll have a viewer who's Brazilian and will share with us
Maybe they
a
will
live
tell.
video on this. Be our guest. Oh, this is a cow, a dancing
Right.
cow.
Right. And you see all kind of animal around, whatever is in a region. And I'm sure that it goes many, many years back when this tradition was developed. They're like
Now,
horsing around.
is this only a certain time of the year they do this show and parade? Or
No, I believe
on a regular basis?
I believe when cruise ships are coming or audience is there, then they're doing this kind of show because rainy season they can't do anything
do
like
it.
this. As I just told you, there's no bridges on Amazon, and it's
Yep.
not because current engineering can't build a bridge over Amazon. It's because there's no bridge to nowhere. There is all rainforest. This was the...
You wait. Our Congress will determine they'll
Right.
be able to build a bridge.
Right.
They'll give
Bridge
them a
to
chance
nowhere.
to build the bridge to
Bridge
nowhere.
to nowhere. It's very important because this was the cruise. Usually on a cruise, when you go on a tour, you're looking for specific structure, you're looking for specific tour to see something, the mosque or the church or something. On this tour, we didn't go to see practically anything, no structure. We went to see how local people lived, and there was not too much action, there was not too many stops. It just was incredible view of this spectacular, one of the biggest river in the world.
Well, this I find actually quite interesting. I like your photos of
Good.
of
I
this
tried.
event. No,
I
no,
tried.
quite honestly, I like that stuff. It's I know when I was in Brazil 100 years ago, I went to samba school where they had us dancing with the samba girls. This was just before they have the Lent and before Easter, and it was great. And but nothing quite like this.
Well, the music is everywhere.
Yes.
It's really wonderful. And they also, like, you see, we're still seeing those statues from
This
the
is a
show.
big
It's
bird.
a
They
bird.
come up with.
And the girl, you see the girl, it's carrying the bird. The
It
girl.
reminds me a little bit of our Rose Bowl parade, New
Right.
Year's in Pasadena.
Right, but
Yeah.
this is a
Sing.
live girl who is dancing and
Great
singing.
costumes.
The costumes were beautiful. And the setting, this is the cocktail waitress.
Oh, they got your cocktails. Good.
And they're a beautiful girl. It's really spectacular. And you see there's another bird. And people are dancing.
These are great.
Look at the tigers.
Oh. Did you see any kind of wildlife, like you mentioned the tigers? Did you see?
Well, we saw
Okay.
small animals, and you see we saw lots of iguanas, sloshes, and water buffalo, but we didn't go in jungle to see any kind
Okay.
of other animals. It was just, as I said, it was quiet, interesting, more nature-oriented cruise, which was very interesting. And then I loved it a lot.
Scary stuff.
Right. Well, they were telling all these tales, old tales about, people who lived there and what they did and how they contacted animals, and all those huge costumes were brought in. It was in some contest. All this Boy Bamba show was in some contest.
Oh boy, look at
Big
that.
snake.
A dragon or something.
Right.
It reminds me a little bit too of the Chinese.
Right.
Which I
They
know you've
do.
been many times, but
They
like
do.
Chinese New Year is similar to this.
They do the same
With the very
kind of
colorful
costume.
costumes, yes.
But it was very interesting, and the audience tried to participate and left some money for, for everything else after the show, which was very interesting. Yeah, there's my husband.
With a nice young lady.
Of course, he always find nice young lady. And there's a barrier. And yours truly.
Yes, you look wonderful. You look like you're having a good time there dancing.
We did have a good time. See the tiger. And then you see the Amazon has lots of tributary, and every time tributary come to Amazon, it's never mixed.
It's
what
a different
you see,
color water.
It's two different river. We are sailing to big city by the name Santarém. It was founded in 16th century, and you'll see how two rivers run parallel to the city, never mixing in. And they have this beautiful tale about
do the communities along the river, do they use the river for their drinking water? What did you find out anything in that?
No, I don't see. They probably use
the river. Purify it or something.
I don't think it's a drinkable water.
Okay.
They might get water from somewhere else, but it's a big river, and I'm sure they have plans that doing purifying water and everything else.
Such a huge amount of water.
But it's a huge amount of water. It's one of the biggest. The Amazon discharge in a day water more than 6 next big river after it.
Really?
It's one of the biggest rivers. It's amazing river of the world. And Santarém that we were, Amazon flew by Santarém. It's very wide in this point. And in Santarém we saw on Amazon all kind of things, including gas stations on a river, hospitals on a river.
There was a hospital on the river?
Hospital on the river, because the river is the main drag.
The main highway.
Main transportation
so you
point.
mean if I came to see you at the hospital,
you can come by
boat?
Right. Actually, the girl who took us on a trip from Santarém, and it was very low-key trip, which I remember as one of the most beautiful day in my life, because there was no too much sightseeing. It was all nature, beautiful river, beautiful kind of not very sunny day. And they show us, this is the Santarém, and you can see two river flying parallel. Right next to Santarém, you see the blue water right next to the city, and yellow water coming right closer to us. It was unbelievable how this water never mixed because of different sediment.
There it is, that photo.
Because of different sediment. And they took us on the river and they show us how lots of people in the Amazon live. They never leave their places. They live in secluded places. They teach children at home. The whole family participate in some. You see this little bird there. The whole family is participating in some farming, very mild farming, mostly fishing. Mostly they do some farming with water buffaloes, and we'll see some water buffaloes next. And they live lots of houses on the stilts because of the wet season. And they live there, and medical care come to their homes. They would not go to see somebody in a clinic as we do. They would not, even for delivery or anything. The medical care, mostly nurses and mostly middle level personal. No, not doctors really.
Mean, but,
like
personal assistants.
Right. They would come to the houses and provide help and care if somebody is sick. And it's so nice because people don't have to travel. And it's long travel, as I said. Sometimes it takes days on a river to get to some place. So these people lived, you see there's a hammock
Yep.
And this girl actually was a nurse, and that's what she told us about lots of. She's a nurse, but she's working as a tour guide in her husband's tour company, and she was spectacular. She was really telling us a lot about how people live and what we're going to see. And there's many things. We also went piranha fishing on this trip.
Did you threaten Roman?
No, no. You see how
Oh, now there it looks a little
beautiful
rough.
it is. You see how it's a wet season and the little islands are taken by the water. You really can see the banks of the river when you're on Amazon. You feel like you're in the sea.
In the sea.
It's. You see, there's water buffalo, and it's a little island, and there's a little house there,
So those
and the whole
belong to somebody.
family.
Those are.
Right, and the whole family lives there and spend all their life there. They're not going any. They're not traveling, for sure. You see, those houses. They live there. They fish. They have water buffalo for little agriculture, and that's what they do. Lots of people in the world live different lives.
Yes. Yep. We Americans live a little bit differently.
All right. You see, this is the whole family. They're going fishing, kids and middle generation and older generation staying in a house, and that's how they sustain their life, and they don't go anywhere. And kids could grow up all their life not going anywhere. The most they can go, this is a pair kids actually, going to the next city, Santarem, but it's also take them few hours to go.
In talking to the local people, did you find most of the people don't go to the big cities of Brazil? Do they stay?
Well, what we saw from locals, they stay locally. Santarem is a big city.
Yeah.
Santarem is, after Manaus, is a big city. It's in the middle of, the Amazon River. But you travel by boat. You really, you don't fly by airport.
Because I know you find today in the globe, as you go around the world, that a lot of the smaller towns, smaller communities, globally, in China, whatever, the people are generally, a lot of people go to the big cities. That's where the jobs are in the factories and whatever. And
well, on Amazon, there's no big cities,
it's nice,
really.
but it's kind of nice to see that.
Right.
It's nice
People
to see that they continue a rural lifestyle.
Right. It's not even, there's a village that we visited next, and we were at the school, at the church, and they make lots of tapioca, and there's a process of how we make tapioca pudding. So we have some pictures, right, and how to make themselves colorful. We'll see it in the next few pictures. But this is just traveling on Amazon by the smaller boat than our boat. Our boat couldn't do this trip. It's a smaller.
I see. They parked your boat,
right,
and transferred you to a smaller boat.
Right.
I got it.
We parked. You see the iguana in the middle of the tree?
Oh yes. Yep.
And huge. Do you see how big? And this is piranha.
This is piranha, okay.
And this is piranha. That's where we started to fish for piranha. We fished twice during this trip for piranha, and once Roman got piranha. And
they have very sharp teeth. I see the teeth.
See the teeth? It's got on a hook.
But they are small.
They're very small, but it's many of them.
Yeah.
This is piranha. Doesn't look so threatening.
No.
But there's much more threatening fish, small fish, in Amazon. When we were talking about piranha, our local were funny. They said piranha is not that it's only dangerous if you are bleeding from somewhere. But there is a fish that if there's any drop of the urine, it goes through your urinary tract, and it can be removed only surgically. It's attracted by the urine, and it goes through your urinary tract and can be removed only surgically.
Really?
So this is much more dangerous than piranha.
A little
tiny fish just goes right through. So we didn't swim in Amazon.
No, I was going to say pass on the swim.
No. We didn't swim in Amazon.
How was the food on the ship? What do you think of the ship itself? The cuisine?
Well, Seabourn is spectacular line. I loved their logo for many years before even booking with them, and we took few trips with them. The advertising for the personal is, if you are not clairvoyant, you can't work on the ship. So being clairvoyant, you have to anticipate all the desire of the passenger, and they pretty much are all clairvoyant, and they're incredibly friendly. And food is, of course, is unbelievable. Being Russian and being partial to caviar, they have their own farm in Brazil that I'm not sure in Brazil or somewhere else, somewhere in South America,
they develop their
that
own caviar.
they pack their own caviar because
Really?
their passenger has this kind of stuff, a little stuffy, but okay.
Yeah. Now this bird returns.
Right, we saw this already.
So the food on the ship was wonderful. Did they have entertainment? What did they feature? Brazilian?
They had some Brazilian entertainment. The people came. This is water buffalo.
Okay.
People came from on the ship and has entertainment. But again, this trip is a very kind of secluded part of the world. So you don't have too many. You just go and see, and you just enjoy scenery more than anything else.
Tell me something. Did you find? I know when we've had you on other. As a guest, I've had other people on the cruise ships. Was it an international crowd on the ship, or did you find it mostly Americans? Or they seem to come from everywhere?
No, it's lots of people are from Europe.
Okay.
Lots of English speaking from Europe, from Great Britain, and from Germany. Some French. Some people went from Argentina.
Oh,
but,
you did get some South American.
Right, but mostly it was American.
Okay.
It's American ship. It's always, last May we were in Eastern Europe and in Western Mediterranean with Seabourn
also, okay.
and they had a large group of people from Mexico on the ship.
See, this
the
is
whole
what I've heard.
group.
Today I'm
Right.
hearing that you go on a cruise ship today and there are people from all over
Right.
the world coming. And I
Right.
think you're going to see the Chinese as they get wealthier,
I'm
more
sure.
and more traveling.
I am sure. I'm sure they will be. But there's another water
Now, what is
buffalo.
this? This is the water buffalo again.
Right. It's lots of water buffalo. And those are sloshes. You see how they hang on the tree?
Yep. What are they called?
Slosh.
Oh, okay.
Like lazy animal.
Oh, these are animals, not a bird.
No.
Oh,
Those are
okay.
animals. They're just hanging on a tree by hours and hours and hours. That's why they call slosh. They're just resting there all the time. And this is fried piranha for lunch. Because we did caught some.
Now, this is on that separate tour boat.
Right.
So you
Right.
caught some and they cooked
Right.
them up for you.
And you can see how
Wait,
white is
how did
Amazon.
they taste?
Delicious.
Oh, really?
Delicious. Like good fish.
Okay.
But look how big is Amazon.
Yes.
You never see the bank. You go like you're sailing on the sea. It's a beautiful, spectacular river. And those are guest station on Amazon. You just come with the boat.
I see
and
it.
you
That
put
must
gas.
be like a Shell gas station,
Right,
it looks
and
like.
you put gas.
Okay.
And that would be fine. And this is
I love
iguana again. You see
Now,
iguana?
Brazil, I know they use a lot of gasoline made from sugar.
Right, from sugarcane.
Yeah, from
Right.
sugar cane. So the prices
Much
had to be a little
cheaper.
bit better.
Right, much cheaper. And of course, if you go on those boats on Amazon, you really need to,
Well, they use a lot of
of
gas.
course. And another iguana. You see the blue in the middle of the picture?
Yep.
You have to start to train your eyes after like second or
Well,
third.
the
You see
picture, I always love the photos.
Right,
The photos
you
are terrific.
you
They're
see iguanas.
full of color.
You see the blue?
Yep.
And you see how the tail is all like in a stripes?
Yep.
So it does mingle with tree very well. And those are boats. And with these boats, they took us to a little village. Now we'll see a little village with tapioca production. That's the pier.
Okay. That's all right. So they move you around.
Right. We had some trouble with people, handicapped people on a wheelchair. It's not the most, not the place
But
in
they
the
did
world.
accommodate them. Huh?
Right.
That's
Right.
nice to know.
Right.
So if,
But
if
it's not
you're in a wheelchair, these kind of trips,
right.
they accommodate.
Of
That's
course,
wonderful.
of course.
Well, you say, of course, I wouldn't even think about it if I was in a
Well,
wheelchair. I'd say, oh,
you
they
know
probably couldn't
that
help me.
that's what started our my traveling passion. We were about 25 years ago. We went to China, and in Shanghai, they unloaded about 30 wheelchairs and took people on a wheelchair in downtown Shanghai. I'm sure you have been to Shanghai.
Yes.
It looked like an anthill. It's impossible to come through. And they took those people on a wheelchair to this downtown, some kind of center to see it. And it was impossible to move. Those people were angry. Those people were upset. And when we came back on the ship and I looked at those wheelchairs, I said to my husband, before we get to wheelchair, we'll travel far and away.
I say
And
the
when
same
we'll
thing
get
to my wife.
wheelchair,
Yep.
we'll travel United States. That's it. So starting next year, if everything is okay, I'm going to retire. I'm going to drive cross country.
Oh, if you've watched some of our shows, we've had several guests show us Yellowstone National Park,
Right.
and we had our executive producer Bill was at Zion. They're fabulous.
Right.
You'll
So
enjoy a trip across the United States.
that will be the trip for next year.
That's what I want to do too.
Good.
I've been across the U.S., but I went the southern route. Now I want to go a northern route.
Well, now my husband doesn't want to go, but I said, I went
Oh,
to Amazon.
it's
I
a
went to Amazon. You have to come with me cross
No,
country.
I promise you'll enjoy it.
I'm sure.
It's a beautiful country.
I'm sure. That's what I want. I want to take northern route
Yep.
to California and south route back home.
You may even
Hopefully.
want to, you'll laugh, but you may want to rent one of those motorhomes. Well, think
We'll
about
see.
it.
We'll see.
Some of them are very luxurious.
It's not a luxury. It's driving
driving.
big vehicle. No. So this is a little church in a little Brazilian village on Amazon, and it's beautiful. I think it's beautiful. It's just so plain. It reminds me of Mykonos, where
Oh, yes.
all the white and blue
Yep.
churches.
In Greece.
Right.
These were mostly, I believe, Portuguese settlers, correct, Brazil?
Probably.
Yeah.
Well, they speak Portuguese,
Yes.
and they're making tapioca. You see the girls, they're cleaning tapioca first, and the lady is cutting it on small pieces, and then they wash it, and they put it in a sleeve. You see the sleeve
Yes.
hanging?
Yeah.
They put it in a sleeve for about overnight or something. So all this is very poisonous
Oh, really?
and very bitter kind of fluid came out of it.
Of the tapioca.
And they use it still in some places, but very small quantities.
Okay.
You see they're peeling tapioca here. And then they get this powder from this sleeve, and they kind of, you see, this is the
They mill
whatever
it.
they make it like a powder.
Yep. They mill
Instead
it
of
like you would
pizza,
flour.
like milk,
almost.
right?
Yep.
And you see the on a second behind this wheel is like a stove,
Okay.
and they warm it up,
And they serve it.
and then they make like all the stuff from tapioca, breads and pudding
really?
and
So
soup and
they
everything.
use it as like a general
Right, it's like bread, like we use
flour.
wheat.
Yes.
Like we use wheat.
Oh, okay.
So the whole family participate in this little factory. You see how she gets powder
So
from
did
this
you
leaf?
eat some of the tapioca bread and stuff?
We tried.
Yeah, what, you weren't wild about it?
No,
Okay.
no. What we like, you see this fluid from the sleeve kind of coming down. And then our tour guide actually showed us, you see how they warm it up on a stove?
Yep.
And then it's really look like flour, finally.
Oh, so this is what they use almost
and
like we would use
still
wheat.
sloshes all over the place. But then our tour guide showed us very nice looking, you see she's holding parrot for a little girl.
Yeah. Oh, the bird. Yes, I do see it on her hand.
And still tapioca, more tapioca cleaning, more, it's the whole production. It's like whole family produces this tapioca flour for all their needs. and then we see the plant. You see this, our tour guide
Okay.
show us this plant. It's looked like nothing plant, and he cut it,
Yeah.
and inside it's a red dye. That's what Indians use to color themselves.
Oh.
And you'll see in a second what he did to one of the tourists.
Oh,
This is
that's
just
their
from the
cosmetics.
seeds.
That's their
This
cosmetics.
is just from the seeds of this little green plant.
Yeah.
And we thought that it would be burning or anything. It's very mild, but as you see, we went to school and we saw performance by the little kids, because Seaborn participate in kind of giving this community back for them, allowing us to stop and to see. So kids gave some performances, so passengers were invited to donate to school.
You'll have to send a copy of this show to Seaborn, and they should put you out on the road for promoting their cruise line.
Well, I kind of like them, it's true. Not that much, but I like them.
Why not? So, but that's wonderful that they work with these communities to help educate. I like hearing that.
It was very nice, and you see the kids were spectacular, and costume was very nice, and kids were very
children are wonderful
Children
everywhere. I remember when you shared with us Western Africa.
I'm glad you remember.
I do, absolutely. And
it was very nice.
I remember then you were buying some of the kids' shoes and things. You always,
that was very nice. And, well, of course, you know, we look...
You're a wonderful ambassador for America.
Oh, well, thank you. But it's true. You go to world and you show that whatever they talk about us, it's mostly not true. We're generally good people.
Wonderful.
It's true.
But in Brazil, we've had, look at this.
Look at the kids. And look at the costume. And look how they colored with this red dye.
This is great. The kids all over the world, they're so wonderful, huh?
And it was so nice. And, you know, all the cruise passengers were sitting and kids were dancing and music was playing, and it was for a good cause. Not only kids were wonderful, but it was all for a good cause. And it was interesting for us because you never see, you know, something like this here.
No, I love the colors though. Everything's so
They're
bright.
so nice.
Oh, this is more dancing, but these guys all
different
have the same
costumes,
same matching costumes.
Right. But still very colorful. It's very colorful. You know, as we usually know about Brazil, the music is beautiful, the sun is hot, the costumes are hot, the music is spectacular, people are beautiful. It's just beautiful.
It is. It's a lovely.
All South America actually mostly like that. It's really nice. And then those little boats took us back to our cruise ship. But even this was exciting because there were hammocks inside.
Yeah, nowadays sounds like this was, you know, how can I put it? A leisurely type of vacation. They didn't have you running in buses and you've got to see this church and but certainly a wonderful experience.
Exactly. And after a while you don't want this vacation.
Yeah, no, it's a good different.
It's very different, and so that was very pleasing. And you look at the river and the river flowing but just by you.
Now I'm going to rush you a little bit. Well, as more pictures come up, I promise interrupt me. But as the cruise ship continues on, where do you end with it?
Well, we were sailing to Atlantic Ocean.
Okay.
If you see on a map, we started in the western part of South America, and we didn't do all 6,000 miles on Amazon, but we did fair part of Amazon sailing to the Atlantic Ocean. And we ended up into Atlantic Ocean, seeing how Amazon goes to Atlantic Ocean. And you see actually last pictures were beautiful, beautiful sunset right on the place where Amazon meets Atlantic Ocean. And they never mix initially for miles and miles. But eventually we went to French Guiana.
Oh, okay. So you end up in
we ended up in French Guiana, and you know it was a big novel Papillon at some point about prisoner.
Yes, I remember.
But prisoner who, and I didn't bring those pictures
That's
because
all right, but
we were
technically you were
talking just about Amazon, so I just kind of separated
But you ended up
Amazon.
in French Guiana, and were you impressed with French Guiana?
It was very interesting. It was very interesting to see where a prisoner was
Oh,
in
so
prison.
they took you for tours? Okay.
Right, it's an island. We were on the island. We weren't on the mainland.
Okay.
Mainland belonged to French by the name, and they have huge, like. Like we have for Cosmic Traveler and all kind of equipment there, they're not welcoming visitors.
Oh, really?
So we were only, you see, this is in the middle of Amazon again. That's how, it's probably wet season, so otherwise they would have a little land around this house and they would fish and they will sustain life this way. And Roman is fishing for piranha. They gave us this kind of equipment.
I love the photos you always have of Roman.
Well, I don't take my own picture. But it's, you see,
There's his
here's the
piranha
piranha that he got. At least he got for his 70th birthday. Piranha. It was very nice. It was something to remember. And then we had.
Did you have a big birthday cake for him on the ship?
Well, you'll see in a second.
Oh, okay. All right.
It's a seaborne way.
I'm asking too far in advance.
No, we're always, you don't do this trip just because you decided to go. You try to kind of date this trip to some big events in your family, to nice events. So this was Roman's birthday, and that's what we celebrate on Seabourn. And Seabourn, being advertising agent for Seabourn today, Seabourn is very good about celebrating passengers' birthday. We had ball, really, they had special lunch for Roman, and they had cake, and it was very nice of them. So this is still Amazon, and you see the rainforest, the incredible greenery there. When you stay on step on the land, you don't see sun. You see only trees.
Only trees.
Only trees, and that's why they're not. The agriculture is not so good because land is not that fertile.
Yeah, no. Listen. Oh.
Well, that's me. But you see, like how yellow is river.
Yes.
Because you see the green glass.
I also see how big it is. It absolutely
incredible.
Looks like you're in the ocean.
It is incredible. And this is sunset as we were leaving Amazon River. And I thought that was also fabulous. Look at those clouds. Look at this.
Beautiful.
It's just, it was very impressive. See, sun is sitting down. And it was like, like you see ancient time over Amazon. That was for thousands and thousands years, this kind of sunsets over Amazon without Seabourn, without Dr. Rodberg, without anything. But that's how it was if you think back. And that was just really beautiful to see how it was back then.
See, now here it looks a little clearer. Is this?
Right. Well, this is probably sunrise next morning.
Okay.
But that's generally, if it's rain season, it's always cloudy and rainy, but it's a beautiful area of the world.
I think you were pleasantly surprised, huh?
I was very surprised.
I know, I can tell.
I was very happy that we took this tour.
Yes, I can tell you enjoyed it very much.
Because we travel Yanzi in China, we travel Danube, we travel Rhine, and that was Amazon. We saw Nile when we were in Cairo a few years back.
Cairo, I'm sorry. I'm glad I went. I've been to Egypt. I loved Egypt. But today, I'll tell our viewers, is not the time to go to Cairo.
Well, we were in May. We were in Egypt. And we went...
This is before the new government in Egypt.
Well...
Mubarak was still in place, yes.
Right, but it was very tumultuous.
Did they tell you to be very careful?
Well, we didn't go to Cairo. We went to Alexandria.
Okay.
We sailed...
You'll have to come back and share that. I'd never been to... I'd like to see the photos.
Right. We had been to Alexandria this time. And it was interesting, but not beautiful.
Not beautiful.
It was interesting.
Egypt, I would be... nervous.
But people
right
went
now.
to Cairo.
They did.
Passengers went to Cairo and they took obligatory picture on a camel behind pyramids and
In
everything.
Giza.
Everybody did everything, and they were fine and they were happy
Really,
that they came
felt
back.
comfortable with it.
Well, they said it was fine. Lots of course, guarding was very strict.
Yeah.
But I'm glad that we did Egypt many years ago
Yes,
and saw pyramids.
And
pyramids
this, I'm
didn't
sure you
change.
had no safety issues whatsoever.
No, this was
No.
very pleasant and
I can
very
tell
nice.
from the photos the
Right.
people were delightful
Right.
and very
It
hospitable.
was very nice. And we sailed straight to Fort Lauderdale.
Oh, so after you went to French Guiana,
Right.
the ship
We went
headed
through,
north?
right.
Oh,
and
and,
we
and
went.
brought you back to Fort Lauderdale?
Yes.
Also, it was quite a hike, though, from there to Fort Lauderdale.
It was fun.
How many days at sea?
Well, altogether, the cruise was about 3 weeks.
Oh,
So,
this is
Amazon, this is Robin's birthday, actually.
look at that.
Those are. And
Happy 70th. Oh, beautiful. Look at that.
so that's courtesy of Seaboard. So he was happy. It was a good 70th birthday.
Yes, wonderful. A wonderful trip.
Yes. And he saw Amazon.
He had his
He was happy.
wishes.
Right.
Well,
Well, I usually provide.
well, you were a good sport to go. It sounds like originally this was not on your
Right.
agenda,
Right.
but you were a very accommodating bride,
It
and
was
you said,
very
"All
good.
right, I'll go."
It
And
was
look,
very
you had a
good.
great time.
Absolutely. We had a very interesting cruise
Well,
and very
as
good.
always, I have to thank you for being our guest,
It's a pleasure.
and I can't wait till our audience sees it. I'm just hoping some Brazilian people see the show and say, "All right, Jack, we're
Okay.
going to come on and show you more of Brazil," because
Right.
I have always been fascinated with Brazil. My daughter was just in Blanco, I believe it's called, and loved it, and I really would like to do more Brazilian. But this was certainly a wonderful experience for me.
Well,
But
thank you
you've got
for inviting
you've got to
me.
promise to come back and
We'll come back.
share Egypt with me.
We'll come back with it, lots of on this trip.
Thank you so
very
much,
much. Thank
Nadia.
you, Jack. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you.